Head to a search engine, type in spanking children. You'll get about 44 million results. It's a subject many parents have strong opinions about and all over the spectrum. Welcome back, bloggers Danielle Herzog, Josie Loza, and making her first appearance on a Momaha Monday, Tanette Powell. Good to see all three of you.
Thank you for having us back.
That's a hot topic.
Oh,
right?
it's a hot topic.
It's controversial too.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and we all feel differently.
Do you? This
yes.
is good. This is a good thing.
We do.
So I want to start with you. Is
Okay.
it appropriate to spank your children?
No.
Okay. Why?
I really feel like it's sending this horrible message that it's okay to put your hands on someone, and it's telling them this is how we solve a problem.
Yeah.
You know, you acted up, we hit.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right. Tanette, you're shaking your head. Tanette's like, No, I spank my children.
Come on.
No way. I don't think that it sends that message at all. You know, obviously I was spanked as a child, and I mean, so are my brothers. But when I think about my own household, I think it's very concrete where the rules are black and white for kids.
Yeah.
You know, when you tell them that, you know, this is a bad word, shut up is a bad word, they think that. So when I say shut up, my son's like, you said a bad word.
Right.
But when I spank him, he never says you hit me. So it tells me that he gets it, that he sees the difference between hitting someone and being spanked by your parent.
Yeah. Josie, how about you?
I do it within limitations, and I think I threaten more than I actually make the connection, because I want my kids to associate and understand that, you know, every parent's different, every discipline method's going to be different. For mine, my kids get it when, you know, they're going to touch the stove and it fire's hot.
Right.
No,
Boom.
you know, boom. They associate, don't do it again.
Yeah.
You're going to cross the street and they're not looking both ways on the butt. Boom. This is how I'm going to teach them. But I like I said, it's all within limitations because certain circumstances require certain disciplines.
Absolutely.
My kids don't
In
get time out.
moderation, so that can't be the only form of discipline, obviously.
Well, no, you got to use other forms, but this is an issue. I'm torn with this
Yeah,
issue
so what's
because
your
you know I've got 3 kids. I have spanked them, but I remember when I was a kid, my mom would come out, fires coming out of her mouth, right? Her eyes are bulging, and she's got the wooden spoon. I remember her chasing me,
It's
spanking me with that
different.
wooden spoon. But you know, there's been a shift, and there's been some research out there that shows that while spanking, it makes them. It controls their behaviors immediately,
But not long term.
And
Right.
that's your point.
My point exactly is, when do they stop saying, okay, spanking is different, and when do they start believing that it's okay? That you talk about threatening. Well, if you're teaching them that it's okay to threaten to hit, that's almost as bad as hitting. So
But I
you're
feel
saying,
like-
I'm gonna hit you.
And I tell you, when they're young, my kids are 5 and 3. They need immediate consequences because my 3-year-old cannot understand if you tell him later that this is going to be taken away from him or he's going to go do that. So at a young age, I feel like it's okay to do the immediate things.
Could the
now,
immediate
as they
thing
get
be
older,
a timeout? Could the
see,
immediate
timeout,
thing?
I don't believe in the regular timeout. So that's another conversation. I'm not a timeout parent.
But a timeout,
at
it's a disciplining measure.
immediate.
It
So
is.
it's
But
like.
I think for a 3-year-old, they don't associate or understand or even have the ability to sit down for 30 seconds to understand.
Oh, my
With
son
spanking,
sits
so
in the corner.
I feel like there needs to be communication. You need to understand
Absolutely.
why you did it, why this is bad.
Jeanette,
That's the key.
How do you beat your kids?
I think that it's important.
But
It
no,
needs
some
to be-
people.
but it has to be a clear definition of what is spanking. Obviously, it can be abused, it can be excessive. So mine is normally just like, you know, like you were saying
It's a
earlier,
hand,
below
use
the
your
waist.
hand.
Oh yeah, it's my hand. It's really quick. It's not anything long, but it's enough for them to get it.
Yeah.
So they understand that what I did was wrong. And what I see is that my kids are well behaved in public because they know. That's when it really comes. We're in public. I'm like, if you act crazy, you will get spanking.
Right.
Like that's.
I remember Bill Cosby. He was talking. He did that stand-up bit about beating his kids, and his wife would come out and she'd have the yardstick, and she says, "Let the beatings begin." Remember that old stand-up bit that he did. So if you spank your kids, how old can they be before it's time to stop spanking? Is there an age limit?
Well,
Yeah,
and
like, are they going to
well,
college?
no, absolutely not. And I can say that.
dorm and you're spanking
I
them.
think that my mother probably spanked us too long because I can remember being 16 and she tried to spank me and I didn't cry and then she's like, okay, that's when it's over with.
Right.
For me, we're already weeding out of it. So I think that it's real good when they're really young. I think that as they get into that 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd grade-ish, I think that's when you can start weeding it out because then you can start incorporating other forms that they can actually understand and comprehend. So for me, it's a solution when you're young. It's something that you'll weed out.
Yeah.
But I see it really working, and I see myself using it less and less because it's been effective.
Were all of you spanked as kids? Were you spanked?
No.
Okay, so you were not spanked. So is this why you don't
I was
believe in
threatened
spanking?
to be spanked, and the threat was definitely enough. But I will say, we talked about a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old gets put in timeout, and then we talk about it afterwards. Why did you go to timeout?
We've done that too.
You know,
and we still do.
And he does sit there.
And every kid is different,
Yeah.
so that's why I
So
said
that's why
that
it can
every
work.
parenting and teaching, all those things have different things that work for kids, which is why I think that spanking is just one form. So you have to do what works for your kid. I'm not saying go out there and spank all your kids.
No.
It might not work.
Yeah, Josie, were you spanked as a kid?
Yeah. I mean, with the belt.
The belt.
Yeah, the belt.
Yes.
The wooden
I
spoon?
got
Did you
spanked
get the
with the
wooden
belt.
spoon?
Yes. And you know, a lot of it was there were 6 of us, and my mom was busy, and she didn't have the time, so we'd get the spanking, and then
Do you
when
think
she
it's
had
a
the
patience
moment,
issue?
it wasn't. You know, my mom was always careful of her temperament when she did a spanking, though. She had to make sure that she wasn't out of anger or rage, or you know, she was angry that we took all the pops and shook them up and you know threw them all over the house.
And that's one of the things you have to be careful about. I heard Dr. Phil talking about, you know, when you spank your kids, sometimes you let your anger take over and you can hit them a little too hard.
Right.
That's the thing that he warns about. But
absolutely.
and that's you're aware of that too.
Oh, absolutely, I am. And I
yeah.
was spanked as a child with a belt, with a switch sometimes at church. So I was. And I definitely think we've seen that shift, you know, where you say, you know, all the things. And I don't know if my kids will ever get to the point where they have to be spanked with a belt. Hopefully, like I said, I see it being very effective, so I don't have to use it. But I was definitely whooped, and well, I call it whooping, spanking.
Whooping.
But it happened a lot. I got spanked a lot.
Yeah, we've done both. We've spanked and we do timeout. It works both. You have this event coming up. You have an event coming up you want to talk about?
So we have story times. Mama has several different story times. The one that I would love to plug is that on the first Thursday of this month, we're going to have the Rockettes come out to do our guest reading at the Bellevue Public Library. Story time starts at 7 o'clock. That's September 4th. We have milk and cookies. They're going to do a couple readings, and then we're going to videotape the kids learning a new dance routine with them. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, all 3 of your bloggers on momaha.com.
We are.
Yes.
And just go to momaha.com to see your blog posts.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Great. Good conversation.
Thank
We'll keep this
you.
going next time. We'll have to
Sounds
find
good.
something a little more spirited next time. This is pretty good. Thanks for coming on. In addition to the Brad Paisley giveaway.